we'll get everyone in from the lobby at that point. But feel free to take a quick break if you need to. Otherwise, I'll just hang out here for a little bit.
Sure.
Okay.
Catch you up. Bye. Hello. Am I
Hi.
audible and can you
Hello.
see my
Yes.
laptop
Yeah.
screen?
Yes,
Yep,
yes.
we can hear
Great.
you.
Just FYI, Chandan hasn't joined yet, so but I'm keeping a lookout.
Yep. So we have people in the lobby. So are they partners or
No, they are the attendees, and we'll keep them awaited until it's on top of the hour, and then I'll let them all in at one time.
Mhm.
no?
People are jumping on early. That's a good sign. They're excited. Right, about 1 minute to go, and then we'll go live right at the top of the hour. Once I start speaking at that point, again, I'll go through the introduction slides, and then Pickley will turn it over to you. All right, Nish, we are ready to go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Impact session. I'm Kelly Bierman with your Sales Enablement team and happy to be your host. Today, we have a comprehensive training session for the Road Data Center Designer. You will see numerous new products and features that have been introduced since our last training, which was September of last year. So thanks for joining today. A few reminders before we dive in. You are on a muted line and we're recording the session today. We'll also capture your attendance for My Learning Link credit. And want to make sure that our next Impact session is on your calendar. That's next Monday, August 12th. We'll feature the next launch window for the T&E line of business. So hope to see you there. You should have that invitation in your inbox from Sales Enablement. We have Pickley Das with us today, Software Principal Project Design Leader, and he will be taking us through an introduction and kind of a recap of Road Data Center Designer, and then we'll dive into a demo. Just as a reminder, this is kind of an extended session today, so we have 90 minutes. You are welcome to drop your comments and questions in the chat as we go. We will have someone monitoring the chat for questions, and Pickley will answer those as often as possible. Also, feel free to raise your hand if you would like to ask a question verbally, and hopefully we'll leave some time at the end for any questions that we didn't get to during the demonstration. All right, Pickley, thanks for being here. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for the introduction. I'll quickly share my screen. Do let me know when it is visible and I'm audible.
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining the Road Data Center Design training session. So as already mentioned by Kelly, this is a follow-up training that we are having in continuation to the features and the offers that we have been continuously adding to the Road Data Center Designer since we have released it in production last year during the same timeline. So what we will have for the next 90 minutes is that I'll give you a very quick introduction of the Road Data Center Designer. Probably that will be beneficial for the participants who might be new to the application. And then we will also see how it is fitting into the design tools product portfolio. Then I will be list down all the features and the offer that is currently available in the Raw Data Center Designer. So you will definitely see some many of the offers that we have added since the last demo that we have last year. After that, I'll be giving a very detailed demonstration of the application where I will try to build a very small to medium scale data center. And in that solution, I'll try to add all the offers and also try to visit to all the features that we have introduced so far in the application. After the demo, we will also see a very quick understanding what is coming next in the upcoming 2 releases of this year. Since we are having this session for our NAM region, we will also see the support that is available during this period. And finally, the Q&A session. But as mentioned by Kelly, if you have any question, do drop them in the chat, because I have my colleague Chandan Singh from the Raw Data Center Designer team who will try to answer most of it. If not, we will again revisit those questions during the end of our presentation. And also we will have an open mic Q&A session. And of course, the sales enablement resources, which Kelly will take it forward. So with that, I would like to introduce the new Data Center Designer. As you are all aware by now that the ISAC Designer, our legacy application, has been decommissioned this 30th of July. So we will not be able to log into the ISAC Designer anymore, right? So Raw Data Center Designer is the direct replacement of the ISAC Designer. And it is a very modern web-based tool that allows you to create detailed virtual data center solutions. Unlike the ISAC Designer, which used to be a desktop client, the Raw Data Center Designer will be a web-based application, browser-based application, where you don't have to worry that you have to update the software each and every time there is an update, right? The other key features that is there in the application is that it helps you to configure data center layouts based on product rules and constraints. From the design tools, currently Raw Data Center Designer will be the only tool where you will be able to do a complete data center design, including the rack containment system, net shelter aisle containment systems, and other physical infrastructure elements, right? Unlike the ISAC Designer, where we found it very difficult to integrate to other web-based application, in the Raw Data Center Designer, this being a web-based application, we see that there is an advantage of integrating with other applications like the 3-phase configurator and the DCM configurator. We have also integrated the CFD cooling analysis, which will help you to do a very basic cooling check of your design based on the number of cooling units and also the position of the cooling unit in your design, considering the cooling properties and also the room dimensions. Also, we have added the ability to add generic objects like the doors, windows, the blocks, and also the crack units for the stimulation purpose. Currently, we are offering the 2D and the 3D view for visualization, which we understand is a very important factor for many of our users when they are interacting with the end users. And also, unlike ISAC Designer, where you used to hardcode the SKUs, now we fetch these queues automatically from the PIM interface system for that particular country. Of course, it has some merits and demerits that we will see in our upcoming slides. So where does this Raw Data Center Designer fit into our design tools product portfolio? So in our design tools product portfolio, we have these 2 buckets. One is the product configurators and the solution designers. In the product configurators, we have the 3-phase configurator, which caters to the 3-phase UPS products, the batteries and the PDUs. We have the cooling configurators, which is currently catering to only the international region for the in-room cooling products and the chillers. On the management and the software configurator, we have the DCM configurator, wherein you will be able to do the transactional kind of solutioning for the DCM software. And on the solution designers, we have the local edge configurator, which cater to the needs of micro data center or single rack kind of configuration. Then we have this Raw Data Center Designer, which has completely replaced the ISAC Designer. And going forward, this will be our flagship tool when it comes to data center designing of small to medium scales. And of course, the modular data center designer, which caters to our prefab designs. And all this sits on top of the design portal, wherein you can also access the features and the functionalities that is available in the design portal ecosystems, like the reports, the solution approval process, and the linking to the CPQ system, right? So let's have a very quick understanding of the journey so far that we have had with the Road Data Center Designer. So in the summer of 2020, we had quick started that planning and also took that strategic decision that going forward, ISX Designer, because of its many limitations on the technology front and also on the cybersecurity front, we took this strategic decision that we have to migrate to a complete digital transformation to a web-based application, which is our Road Data Center Designer today. So we did a very small beta release in 2022 for the Europe and International. And as you can see, last year during the same timeline, we also had this worldwide release with all the functionalities and the products, right? And since then, we have been continuously adding the features, offers, and also development has been going through 2024. And it also will be happening now going forward, like just like any other application in the design tools. So, and you can see also see that another milestone that we have achieved recently this year is that we also have phased out the ISX Designer completely on 30th of July. But that being said, you will still be able to log into Design Portal and access your ISX Designer solution for reference purpose, but you won't be able to log into the desktop client anymore, right? Now, how's the Road Data Center Designer's readiness with respect to the products and functionality? So you can see that many offers have been added since the last time we had this training last year. We can see that the SX Plus, the next gen SX racks have been added to the racks portfolio. We have now all the NetShelter RPDUs, the 7K series, 8K series, 9K series, and 10K series. Easy RPDUs are for the regions where it is available, not for the primarily NAM region. Then for the cooling and accessories, we have the indoor direct expansion, chilled water. In the power, now we have migrated all the power product that we had in the ISX Designer. Today in the demo, you will see along with the Symmetra PX that we have today, we have also migrated the power distribution unit and also the Galaxy Symmetra PX 250 and 500 kW units. Along with that, we also have the Galaxy VS portfolio for now. On the containment, unlike the ISX Designer, we will not be having the Hyperpod containment into the Road Designer. That's a strategic decision that we have taken with the help of line of business. And the solution for Hyperpod is that if you want any kind of Hyperpod design to be created, you can always go for add design, multiple design, right? That being said, today in the Road Designer, we have the Rack A containment system, the next gen NetShelter IL containment, and our old existing EcoIL containment, where we have both the single and dual type ceiling type. Software monitoring. We have the complete design DCM portfolios and the NetBoards portfolio also in the DCM. In the services, there has not been much change. We have kept how it was in the ISX Designer. In the design and the 3D layout, we have the design data center flow layout where we can now add up to 500 racks. That's the limitation that we have set for now. Because when we were going through the data of the ISX Designer over the last decade, we can see that with all the offers that I have shown in this slide, we are covering at least 99% of all the solutions. The 1% of the solution that is not being covered from the Road Data Center Designers are those solutions which were getting created about more than 500 racks. And the thing with those solutions above 500 racks, when we were seeing the data, we have never seen that any solution gets ordered of all those over 500 racks in the ISX Designer. So keeping that in mind, we have kept the ISX Designer threshold or Road Data Center Designer threshold up to 500 racks for now. But of course, this is a very new tool at its very nascent stage. We want to make sure that we are observing the performance of the application, because all these years, over the last 4 years, as you can see, we have been migrating the features and the offers from the ISX Designer to the Road Designer. Now the team is now currently working to stabilize and keep the application more robust so that it helps you to do a design which is within the 500 racks region, right? Then of course the bill of material report, we have it in the tool and also in the pricing, and the standard design portal reports you will see in this design portal. So with that, there is a poll question that I have for all of you, is that how useful are the currently available offers in Rho Data Center Designer for creating small to medium range white space data center solutions for your customers? I believe you will be having a poll question in your chat window. Please do take some second of it to give your rating over there. I'll proceed to our next slide. So the next slide, before I go into the next slide, Chandan, you there in the call? Do we have any questions which needs to be immediately addressed now?
Yeah, so Piklu, we have a couple of questions where Khalid is asking whether third-party racks can be added through a Genome library or not. You can take up that question.
Yeah, so Khalid, so probably that is something that we have in our future roadmap, like in Q4. Currently, it is not available, but we do have a roadmap to add the genome products into our Rho Data Center Designer, and that is something in Q4. All right.
Yeah, there's one more question from Philip, where he's asking to introduce the VGO as per the prior designer, but I think we are coming up with a BIM model, right? Which
Yes,
would be a better replacement of, yeah.
You're right, Chandan. So as you mentioned, right, we do have a version of the Visio in our Rho Data Center Designer, which of course is not at a very standard template right now, but currently we are working to provide a standard version of the Visio. And as Chandan had mentioned, we are also started working on the BIM model part. Unfortunately, we will not be able to deliver the AutoCAD in the very near future, because when we were going through the requirement for AutoCAD, first of all, it's a very niche not niche, kind of an legacy technology that we have, and we don't have the expertise of building the AutoCAD from the scratch in the Rho Designer. So we took this strategic decision that, okay, if not CAD, what is AutoCAD? What is the next better thing that we can replace that with? So BIM model is the thing that we have come up with, and you will see in my presentation today the roadmap for the BIM drawings. Okay. All right then. So maybe I'll switch off my camera for the demonstration to save the bandwidth. So I'll jump to the demonstration of the application today, and wherein I will try to create a small solution, and I'll try to start from a smaller solution and try to scale it up to accommodate all the features and the products. So in that particular solution, I'll try to add the racks cooling, the indoor cooling, the UPS power distribution unit, data center containment, software, networking, cable solutions, and add the services to each of the hardware that we have in the solution, right? So I'll quickly jump to the application. So since we are having this demonstration for our internal users mostly, so we all know that we have to click on login here under Schneider Electric employee to go to the design portal. You click on create solution, and I'll be creating a solution for United States. And you can see there is a new card that is there, which is the Rho Data Center Designer. And you no longer see the ISAC Designer in the create new solution page. So I'll click on configure on Rho Data Center Designer. It will take you to the landing page of the Rho Data Center Designer. So basically it will land you on the rack catalog page, because that's the assumption that we have currently, that basically our users would start with the rack configuration first. But before I start the configuration of a design, let me help you to understand the layout of the Rho Data Center Designer first. So on the top header, you can see the solution name and the number along with the country of the installation that you're doing. Then you have this notification center where you can see where you will see all the notifications or the constraints, like the information, warning, and the error as and when you're doing the design. Then you have the settings icon under which we have this cooling properties and the accessories properties. In the cooling properties, you can set the cooling like for your room data for the data center room. What is the cooling that you would like to set? You can change it from here. Then you also have the accessories properties. So if in case you don't need the data troughs, you can make it to 0, and also none of the equipment. If in case you also don't need the power troughs, you can also make it to none of the equipment. So that is how you can uh, switch off the accessories that we provide by default to the racks, cooling, and the power, right? On the top right corner, we have this total price section where as and when you'll be dragging and dropping the configured products from the parking lot to the design to the floor, you will be seeing the price also getting updated, right? And this is also the allocation for you to go back to the design portal. Then on the left hand side, you have the designer view. This designer view gives you the 2D floor layout where you can see this is the default room shape for your particular country. And in fact, this is, and also you can see the dimensions for your country. So you can, if you want to change the dimensions of your room, you can go to the room properties. The unit type that is available for NAM is feet and inch. If you want to change the width and the length of the room, you can give it a higher number here. Say I'll be going for 60 and 60. And you can see you can also set the hot aisle width and the cold aisle width. We have also introduced the raised floor. If you want to give some kind of a uh, height to your raised floor, you can also give the floor height. And also we have the ceiling properties where you can also insert the ceiling height of the room, right? So this is how you can start with your room design by giving or establishing the different properties for your room. Right now in the Row Data Center Designer, we have only the allocation to create a rectangular or squarish room shape. But after the demo, when I'll be showing you the what's next slide, you will see that we are introducing the feature which will help you to create different kind of room shapes like the T shape or the L shape room shape that we see often can happen in the designing side. But for now, as it is available today, you can only do a squarish or rectangular kind of a room shape for your data center design. As soon as you click update, you can see the changes that you have given. It will be reflecting on your floor, right? And also on the left hand side, you have this parking slot where all the equipment that will keep on configuring and adding to the unplaced area, it will be added to this particular parking lot first. From here, you will be having the option to drag and drop the items. Then we have the generic items also, which are also being which also has been added to the row designer to which will help you do some stimulation of how your data center room would look like, right? So as of now, you can see we have added the block, the crack, the window, and the door. So as soon as you add it to the floor, it will be added. You can also add some crack units. And if you want to change the dimension of this particular, all this generic object, you can also do it by just say, let me change this crack unit height, right? So I just select the particular generic object, go to this particular right slider section where I can give the airflow CFM for the crack unit, the cooling capacity, the set point, and also I can set the dimensions of the particular crack unit, right? So this is how I can do it. And once you are done with all the generic objects, we can also go to the 3D view to see how exactly they would look like in that particular room, data center room, right? So you can see this is how it will look like. This is the room. I have gone for the raised floor, and also I have gone for this. I have dropped these doors, these generic objects onto the floor, and this is how it looks like. Similarly, for the block, if you want to increase the height of the block, you can go for it, and also you can increase the depth. So this is how you can do, and you can see in the 3D view the room has been created with all the generic objects. So basically this helps you to do the stimulation, as we also used to have this feature in our ISAC designer. Then you have this zoom in and the zoom out feature, which will help you to uh, view the design at your convenience. The room properties, we have just seen the cooling check. If you see here, the particular button is grayed out here because we have not added any in-row cooling to this particular design yet. But once that will be added, this also will be enabled. Then we have this download CFD project. If in case, in addition to the basic cooling check, you also want to do a very cooling thorough CFD analysis of your design, you can download the project and you can upload it in the ITS CFD software to leverage all the features that is available for you in that particular software. Then we have the download Visio SVG file. So I'll download the Visio file once I'm done with my design. So then we have the solution tab. In the solution tabs, you will be seeing these two types of view for the bill of material. One will be providing you a consolidated view of all the SKUs that is available in your design. Another view will give you understanding how the category level kind of a configuration of a design, like product category. Then we have this health section, which will take you to the health center of the design portals. And based on the page where you are in right now, you will be able to see the health document. You'll be directly be taken to that particular video for that particular page. So we have created good number of videos for the row data center designer. Of course, these videos are not meant for detailed configuration information, but it will definitely give you an understanding of how the things are happening, or it will give you a base start, getting started video kind of thing, right? So that's the whole objective of this, creating these videos in the row for the row data center designer. Then of course we have this feedback button. If in case you have any idea for the application, you can drop your ideas or also report the bug through it. And we have been getting the ideas and the bugs from here, and you can see this is how it looks like based on the ideas that have been posted by our users. Then we have this reset button. If in case you don't like the design so far what you have created, you can click on it and it will help you to start from the scratch. The about will tell you what is the release version that you are currently working on. And what's new is that if there is, it is for some banners. So if you notice that this is one banner that we have put up a couple of days back, in fact last week, when we were having some issues with the ATO SKUs pricing in the design portal. So any kind of information that we would like to communicate on a upfront basis, we will always place those banners over here, so that when you log into the row data center designer, you are aware of any kind of alert notification that you should be aware of, right? So that is all about the layout. Now coming to the rack catalog page, you can see that unlike the ISX designer, where we used to have a very handful number of products, here now in row data center designer we have some 92 items. And it is not like that we are showing all the products of the racks. No, currently we are focusing only some typical or the usual U height that currently goes into a white space data center. So you can see that this number can also vary in your country from country. Right now in the United States, and this data that we are getting is directly from the PIM. So that means there are some 92 items that is there, which is catering to the 42 U height, 45 U height, and 48 and 52 U. So 52 U is the recently added rack, because what we have noticed, and based on the requirement from the customers, what we are seeing that because of this trend of the AI and also the Internet of Things and also digitization, there has been a demand in the increase of these 52U racks. So you can see that as of now, we have added these two 52U racks into our rack catalog page. Then we have this width. Right now we are facilitating only three kinds of three dimension of width: 600 millimeters, 750 millimeter, and the 800 millimeter. In the depth, we can see only 42 inch and 48 inch, and in the color we have the black and the white color, right? So if you see here, unlike the ISX designer where we used to have only 8 or 9, 10 racks, and also there was no way for the novice user to understand would like to go and select the rack, because there was no filter. So now in this catalog page, one thing that you will notice that we are catering to both the novice user and also the expert users. Novice users can leverage these filters to narrow down their selection, and expert users who already are aware, who has been designing this design and have a clear understanding of the customer requirement, they can directly search for the rack from this search bar and it will give them the result, right? And also you can see that unlike the ISEC designer where you used to have only the SKU number, but now we have this card being designed for each of the SKUs, where along with this description we are also showing some high level information along with the price. And if in case you need to know more about a particular product, you can also click on this product. It's a hyperlink. It will take you the APC site of your country, and if in case you need to know more information about the particular product, you can browse through the particular product in the APC site, right? And also you can see that we have also introduced the SX the next generation SX rack, right? So you can search them by B2. So you can see there are some 12 new SX rack that has been introduced from the rack and systems line of business, and they have all been added to the Road Data Center Designer. You need not have to worry about the about the sign of NA. Whenever you see this, it will not stop you from configuration. It is just that the pricing API, the pricing call that we are making to the pricing system is being delayed, and that is the reason you are not seeing the price at the first instant. But that being said, don't worry about it if it is NA at the first instant. We are also introducing the auto save feature. Once that is introduced, you can also click on refresh and it will give you the price in the next step, right? So let me now start with a design for a few racks. So I'll start with the usual AR3100, which is the most used rack in the NAM region. So I'll click on configure, and once I click on configure, it will take me to the rack configuration page. In the rack configuration page, you can see by default we have already added you the RPDU and all those sensor. This RPDU and the sensor that you're seeing here is based on the load density that we have by default, which is 3 kilowatt. But as and when you will change the load density, you will see that the RPDU suggestion also has changed. And also in addition to the temperature, we are also adding the temperature and humidity. Then we have this power feed. So we have the single and the dual. The airflow that you would like to set for your rack. And also you can change the quantity through this quantifier. And you can see that beneath it, it has the zero use space and the free use space, which will give you an understanding how many vertical RPDUs and horizontal RPDUs you can add to a particular rack, which is in this case AR3100, right? If in case you are not satisfied with the auto suggested RPDU based depending on the load, you can always go away from it. You can always delete it. And once you delete it, it will provide you an option to add the RPDUs based on your requirement from the customer. You can click on add rack PDU, just similar to the rack catalog page. This RPDU catalog page also will give you a similar kind of experience where you will be having the filters on the left hand side, which will help you to navigate down to the RPDU that you really want for your customer. You will also have this global search and also the cards, right? So you can see that all the different types of RPDU that is available for AR3100 in your country, it is now listed over here. You can also the 10K RPDUs are also available here. So let's say I'll just go for this 105351 meter PDU. So I can select any of the RPDU based on my requirement. There are many other filters like the input connection type, the output connection type, and also the number of outlets that you would need for your. So you can leverage all those filters to go to your RPDU. So I have added this 10K RPDU to it, right? Maybe I will not do it because it gives you the 10K sensors and which is not compatible with the NetBoard's configuration. So I would rather go for any kind of the 9K series or that we have, right? So now I'm done with the RPD configuration, the security and sensor. By default, we have this temperature sensor and the humidity sensor, but we also have some other RP sensors that is also available for your selection. You can go for this door switch sensor, the wireless netboard sensor, the smoke sensor, and the other sensors that is available in this page, right? And finally, you also have the rack accessories page where you will have the option to select and add the cable management SKUs if you want to do it to your rack configuration. So you can again see there are 104 items been found for AR3100. If you want to go for some NetShelter airflow management, you can take all the SKUs from here and just add it to your list of configuration. Now I'm done with my rack configuration, and you can see that in the rack configuration, the RPD is being added, the temperature sensor is added, the temperature humidity sensor is also added, and also the one default one accessory I've also added to each of the rack, right? So I'll click on add to one place, and once I click on to add to one place, it will take me back again to the rack catalog page. If in case you need to add few more racks of different dimensions, you can. That is the reason you are being again navigated back to the rack catalog page. But we have received feedback that it's better to go to the direct designer view page because that's make the user experience more better. So we are looking into it, like whether rather than taking them back to the rack catalog page, if we can make them directly come to the designer view page right after they click on add to one place. That is something that we already have it in our roadmap. So once I drag and drop these particular racks, so you can see that as soon as I've dropped it, you can also go to the 3D view, and this is how the 3D view of those racks would look like, right? And also we have introduced the copy functionality. You can copy a single rack, or you can also copy multiple racks. So you can see if I copy it, a copy of the items is being added to the clipboard, and I can keep on dragging and dropping this copied items onto the floor, like how we used to do in the ISEC designer also, right? So these are all the features that we have started. We have finished the migration, and all those features are also available. I can also make some of the racks as stage. So that is also another feature that we have. So you can make it as existing. So that means all these 4 racks will not be accounted in your total price. So you can see that in the total price, if you see the rack that is been just made existing, it will go under the existing tab, which will not be having any kind of pricing, right? But I can also undo and redo it. So if I want to make it again a new, so I can just perform undo, and it will take me back to the previous state. So all these features we have now added to the Row Data Center Designer also. So now I have this I'm trying to create this pod containment. So I have placed this 3100 racks in this manner. So now I'll go for the cooling configuration. So in the cooling configuration, as I've mentioned during the starting of my presentation, that we have integrated the ITS CFD analysis also into the Row Designer, but that has happened on a pilot basis only for the direct expansion unit. So only for the ACRD air cooled unit we have done that cooling check. So that I'll be showing in today's demo. But before that, let us see what are the different products that we have in the cooling, indoor cooling. So along with the indoor direct expansion, we also have the indoor chilled water. Then these are the filters that will help you to narrow down your selection. And also you can see that indoor air cooled, we also have the latest addition of the indoor direct expansion. You can see the 101S and the 101P also being added to your cooling catalog list, right? So I'll be going for ACRD 301S. So when you're in, you can see that we also have a similar experience to the rack. Previously we have a catalog page, then once from the catalog page you click on configure, it will take you to the configuration page of that particular product. And in the configuration page of the particular product, we are setting some default configuration. But of course, just like the rack, you can also override them and change based on your requirement. You can see that as soon as I've selected ACRD 301S, it gives you the option to configure both the indoor accessories and the outdoor. In the outdoor, you can see the cooling type. It is asking me, it is only giving me the cooling type as air cooled, because in the previous page I have selected the indoor direct expansion air cooled, right? And also in the indoor accessories, you can see these are the cables and the water leak detector, the humidity sensors, the duplicate PSU. As and when you keep on checking those options, your bill of material also will keep on getting updated. And in the outdoor cooling unit also, we have the air cooled, the condenser voltage, the single or dual feed, maximum ambient temperature for this particular unit, and the compressor acoustic hood. And of course, just like the rack, we also have the cooling accessories. So if you want to add any accessories to this particular unit, you can go through this particular page of the cooling accessories for ACRD301S and add it to your bill of material. And another feature that we have added recently is the check performance of this ACRD301S. So previously, if I'm not wrong, what our user used to do is that they used to hop between 3 different applications, like the Unicalc to check the capacity values of the particular cooling unit. They would come to ISEC designer to add the cooling unit to your design, do the configuration, and then download the design and go to the ITSAFD software for the cooling check. So all these 3 different kind of experience that used to happen previously in 3 different application now can be done in one single application itself, which is the Rho Data Center Designer. So this check performance will help you to go, it will take you to the Unicalc page. So this is a replica of the Unicalc page itself, which will help you to understand how you can go for what is the capacity value of that cooling unit based on the different working condition, right? So you can see that I've just given for this, and this is 25.6 is the cooling capacity for this ACRD301S. There are many other features that you can download this data for this file. You can also go for the bin calculation, which will help you to understand the ROI of this particular unit in your country and state, and in fact the city also, right? So all these features are also available in this web link. So this will help you to understand what is the cooling capacity for this ACRD301S for all those different climatic conditions. Now, once you click on add to one place, you will observe that there is some calculation that is going on under the hood, right? So basically, what is this? This is something that we are fetching the value from the Unicalc software. As I mentioned, right, we don't have to go now to the Unicalc to fetch the value for this ACRD301S. It has been done in the background in the Rho Designer. So once I click on done, again the particular cooling unit will be there in the floor. You can drag and drop it, and let me try to create one more copy so that you don't have to do a configuration over again and again. Based on your requirement, you can keep on adding and dropping from the clipboard area so that you can do the calibration and the different the cooling check whenever you are ready with your configuration. And we also have understood that it's very rare that 2 different kind of cooling technology will be used. It's either indoor direct expansion or the chilled water. So that is the reason we have make sure that whenever we are doing any kind of cool check, it's only one type of technology that will be there in the design. So now you can see the cooling check also is enabled now. So you can click on it, and once you click on it, it will fetch. It is now sending the details to the ITS CFD software, and details like the room properties, the room dimensions, the cooling properties that you have set for your room, and also the cooling capacity value that we have just fetched for ACRD301S. All these values will be sent as an input to the ITCAB software, and the ITCAB software will send back us the assessment result through the API, and this is how it will looks like. So if you hover over the cooling unit, it will give you the details about, okay, what is the set point temperature, what is the cooler capacity that of this rack in this position. And if you see, if you download this particular project and if you go to the ITSAFD software today, you will see that the same data you will be finding it. Maybe I'll do it at the end of it, but you will be seeing the same assessment result in the ITSAFD software. Recently, there was some query from the users where they were saying some kind of discrepancy, but that has happened because we were running one version down, but we have updated our version from ITSAFD and everything is now in sync with the ITSAFD software. So now I have done with my cooling configuration also. Now let me try to add the containment. So when I select all this, you can see there are all the three options which is available. Either I can go for net shelter aisle containment, which is our equal, But for the sake of this demo, I'll be going for the NetShelter 2nd generation because that is the latest that we have from the lineup from the Secure Power. And in this next generation itself, we have all the 3Ds been enabled. So I just want to show you this part. So just like similar to our 3-coil containment system, we are providing you with an interface which will help you to do all the different kind of configuration that is possible with the next gen containment. So you can see the select a containment type horizontal, then we have the vertical, then we have the cabinet top, the ceiling. As soon as you select the ceiling, it gives you the option which is like if you want to go with the rod from us or no rod. If you go for no vertical direct, you can also see that you will be asked to give the vertical duct height, right? Then we have the aisle width of the aisle. You will see that unlike the equal right now for this NGC, we don't have the 5 feet aisle, but definitely this is a very new offer. We have been continuously improvising on the experience and all the offer. So if that is available, we will also add it to our UI. Then also you can see the length of the aisle. It is automatically calculating what is the length that based on the selection that I have just done on the floor. Then the containment height. So since all the racks that I have selected is 42U, so that is the reason it's showing 42. Then like the equal containment, we have the left door type and the right door type. By default, we are giving the next gen containment doors, which is a dual sliding and single sliding. But you can also see the sliding doors that we used to have for the equal. It's also available here as a breakout. We also have the curtains and the none. LED lights, by default, it is given as required. You can also go for not required. The roof panels, it's always standard. For the drop panels, you will be prompted with a pop-up message which will say that for the next gen containment, the drop panels are not available yet. So if you want to continue, you can click OK. It will take you to the equal containment. And also we have this airflow controller to be added. Now, so as a user, you need to have to worry at all about the bill of material because that is the main objective from the Rode Data Center designer side, that we provide you that peace of mind that the bill of material will always be taken care by us. And so you can see that based on this configuration, there's so many SKUs that is needed for this next gen containment. But we are adding it to the list because we are calculating under the hood what are the SKUs, how many SKUs are needed for the system. So as soon as I click on save, you can see a containment is getting created. Now I will also select all these 2 rows and do a next gen, but I'll try to do a vertical duct with this, right? And I'll click on save. Now this containment I have created as a horizontal, and this is a vertical duct. You can also see that I can drag and drop the containment from one row to the other because these are all the similar depth racks, right? Which is 1070. So that is the reason I can drag and drop the things one at a time. I can also copy the containment. You can see that just like how I have copied the racks and the cooling unit, I can also copy the containment. So I can select all of it and I can Control C from my keyboard, or I can also maybe I'll just do a containment copy. So I can also copy the containment. So there is seems to be some issue, but I'll just delete it. But the feature is also available for you to copy the containment. Okay. Okay. So now once I'm done with my containment, I can also go to the 3D view to see to visualize how the new containment would look like. So based on the design that I just had, you can see that this is the vertical duct which I've done. So I'll also reconfigure. There seems to be some issue with it. Let me try to do a horizontal of it. You can see this is how the horizontal containment looks like, right? We can also go for a single. So I'll copy this. So we can also go for the RACS. So since I have this AR3100 in the Indo Direct expansion, I can directly configure Rakia containment system. And once I click on Rakia containment system, it brings me to this particular layout or interface where you can select whether you want to go for rear, front and rear, or front, right? Let me go with the front and rear. It will add me the SKUs and you can click on save, and also it will create the containment system. Now I'm also done with the containment and also all the solutions that is available in the containment. Let me now try to create or try to power some of the IT racks with different power equipment, right? Now, if I go to the power here, you can see that first of all, unlike the ISAC designer, we now have many more options, right? Where we have the Symmetra PX, where we have the PX20, 40, 100. We have the power distribution unit where we have the modular PDUs along with the traditional PDUs. We have the Symmetra PX250, 500, the Galaxy UPS right now as the Galaxy VS, and also the rack mountable UPS, which is a single phase UPS, right? So I'll try to power some of the racks and also try to have all the power equipments, configure all the power in this particular design. So let me go to the with the Symmetra PX first. So you can see that there are some 15 items for Symmetra PX, basically Symmetra PX20, 40, and 100. So if I don't select any of the family and directly go for the existing equipment, it will give me this window where it will ask me which is the which IT racks you would like to power, right? So you also have this option over here on the top right corner where you can select the rows also of all the product that you would like to power. So if you want to just power the row A, you just select row A and you can just add the racks that you would like to power. So I'm just selecting this RA1, RA2, RA4 and RA6. And if you can see that as I'm selecting this IT racks for powering purpose, my existing equipment is also increasing to 24 kilowatt. Additional load since I'm not given anything and the total load is 24 kilowatt. So now as soon as I come out of this window, you can see 24 kilowatt is the input load. If I want to give any additional load, I can definitely give it here. I can also increase the runtime to say 50 minutes. And based on that, these are all the smart Symmetra PX units. Now you can see there are 8 items. Previously we had 15 items. Now you can see all the smart Symmetra PX units will be available for you to power the load that you have connected. So let's go with Symmetra PX 40 by 40. So I'll go for click on configure. Again, you see the experience in rack, cooling, and power is similar. First of all, you will have the catalog page where you will select the UPS by leveraging the filters, and then you go to the configuration page where you will be doing the detailed configuration of the UPS or the product. So now once you have selected the product, you can see that you are in this particular configuration page of Symmetra 40. And you can see that you cannot uncheck this power distribution unit because since you are powering some of the equipments, right? Then you have this battery solution. You can see this based on the runtime and also the load, which is 34, and it is 34 kilowatt. This is the number of battery modules and the external frame that is needed. Also, you can go to the power distribution settings if you want to have the transformer for isolation transformer for the particular Symmetra PX40 unit. You can select it. And if in case you also want to have some additional power with some breakers, which is not possible through the RPDU, you can also click on it and it will take you to this particular page where you will be able to select. So this page is loading, but taking time. I'll probably take it for other one, but we'll not be doing. So battery solution, we have these batteries, power distribution. I have just selected the include transformer. And once I click on add to in place, it will take you again to the parking lot, to the catalog page. And you can go back to the parking lot. You can drag this particular Symmetra PX40 unit. And you can see that these are the units that I have powered with the Symmetra PX unit, right? And that is the reason you can see the power ladders and also the whips cables are going across the rows in order to connect the PDU with all these IT racks, right? And also as soon as I've powered this IT racks, you can see also some orange exclamatory sign on top of each of the IT racks, which is nothing but it is saying that below equipment are not powered because they are not powered yet. So I'll try to now power this below C and D with some other. So last time we have seen the Symmetra PX unit. Now let's try to power the C and D with the power distribution unit. Again, I can go to the power. I'll select on the power distribution unit, and you can see that based on the voltage that I have selected, input voltage 208 or 480 or 600, you will be getting the different kind of power units that is available, right? So if I go for 480, you can see these are the, along with the traditional PDUs, you also have the modular PDUs. So we have migrated all the PDUs that is available in the ISEC designer. For the NAM, you will be able to find all those PDUs now. So let's go with 480 volt. So, and again, similar to what we have just done with the UPS, again, I'll go to the existing cabinet and I'll go to C, row C. Let's say I've selected all this and the row D also I'll be selecting. So in this way, in that way, I have selected all these 8 racks. So if you can see, all the C and D racks are selected, right? It is, if you see, all these racks are not selected because I'll try to power them with some different cooling unit, power unit. But this, all these C and D rows of IT racks will be now powered by this power distribution unit. So this is 48 kilowatt. And since we know there is no runtime for the power distribution unit, so there is no runtime field. So I'll just go ahead with this PDPM 288G6H, right? So I'll click on configure and click on add to unplaced. And I'll drag this. So this is a 10U PDU. So as we know, don't know. Try to do it again. Let's try to power all the racks. Okay. So you can see that the racks content do not work with the selected memory. So basically what is happening, that some of the RPDUs that we have here, they are not compatible with this particular PDU. So that is the reason you are getting this error, right? So I'll go back. I'll try to power with this. So you can see that as soon as I have dragged this, additional ladders and whips are being created now, because this particular containment is also being powered with this power distribution unit, right? Now, all the PDUs are also being powered. Now I will try to power this particular power distribution unit with the Symmetra PX 250 and 500. If I'll go to the Symmetra PX 200, 500, I'll go to the existing equipment. You can see that the PDU which I've just used to connect all those IT powers is now can be found with this Symmetra PX power 500, 250, 500. So I'll select it, and this is the 96 the total kilowatt, and these are the UPSs that will be able to power that particular unit. So I'll click on configure, add to unplaced. So you can see the Symmetra PX 250 is also powering. the PDU also. So you can, if you go to the edit flow, you can see the 3-pole adapters that is needed to connect to all the breakers. So just similar to ISAC designer, we also have the cable entry, top, feet, or bottom. We also have the dual. Based on as your configuration, you can change this requirement. You can also go to the power whips. You can see this is the very mandatory, but you can also go for additional power whips if you want. You can add it. So you can go for the power breaker, the pole breaker types. You can click on add, and it will keep on added to your field. But since this is something that we have added manually, so we are also providing an option to delete it. But the first one is a mandatory one, so you will not have the option to remove it. And once you click on update, you can again come to the designer view and update your power system. So this is how all the power products that we have in the ISAC designer is now also available in the row designer. And if you go to the power for the Galaxy UPS, as we know, we don't provide any kind of power connection. It is only the sizing that is something that we are catering to. So you can go for all the filters that we have it here, just like similar to the 3-phase configurator. So based on your requirement, if you are aware of what is the redundancy that you need, if you want to go for just UPS redundancy, it will double the quantity of the UPS. You can also go for parallel UPS configuration. So if I give say 1000, so it will give you the number. All right, 1000 is not possible. So so you can see that this particular UPS 150 kilowatt UPS, it can go up to 4 minutes. So you can click on configure. Again, just similar to all other configuration, along with the UPS selection, we are providing the default UPS configuration. You can click on add on place, and you go to the designer view, and you can also see all the Galaxy products that you have just configured. You can drag and drop them onto the floor. So you can arrange the battery how you would like to do it. And once you're done with your configuration, you can go to the 3D view. And this is how your complete design would look like, right? With this Symmetra PX 250-500 unit, the power distribution unit, the Symmetra PX 240. And you can also see the ladders going across the rows from the one containment to another containment, right? So the next thing that we have is the DCIM. So once we are done with all the configuration, what we can do, we can directly go for the DCIM. And in the DCIM, we do have these two tables. One table is basically will allow you to select the racks where you like to have the rack access control. If you want to select all the racks where you need to have this rack access control, you can just select all. And also the below table will give you the option to select the rack where you want to mount your software appliance. So you can see that in this below table, the application is automatically counting what is the number of nodes and also what is the number of racks that is available in the design so far. So you can select any of the racks for where you want to mount it. And once you're done with your selection, you can click on configure. It will take you to the DCIM configurator, wherein you can configure the monitoring, the planning and modeling, and the security and environmental. So this is a questionnaire based application, this DCIM configurator. So this our user, if our user is a novice and just understand the requirement that the customer needs is only monitoring, they can just go for monitoring and they will be automatically being provided with all the bill of materials, right? But if in case they do want to go to the detail of the configuration, they can also change the options that we are providing by default in the questionnaire. Like if they want to go with the on-premise, they can select it. They can go for perpetual license, 1-year subscription, email or digital paper CS. Then we also are automatically calculating the data center expert and also adding the cables. So if in case they don't need the cables, they can just opt it out. And then you can also go for planning and modeling and the security environment. based on the selection of all these three solution options, you can see the bill of material is also getting created, is generated, and all the cables and networking switches that is needed for this particular design will also be added to your configuration. So you can see now that along with the icons that is there on top of each of the IT racks for the rack access control, you can also see that there are the data layers are also being drawn now, right? And if you go to the bill of materials, you can see that along with the SKUs of the power, you can also find the containment CRs, the netboard CRs, the cables, the Cat5 cables that is needed for the installation purpose. So this is what the DCM solution is providing. And at the end, we also have the services. So services, we have not done any changes. As I mentioned initially, it is something a replica of what we have in the ISEC designer. We have the assembly services, startup services, the product on-site and the preventive maintenance services, in addition to the cooler services, especially for the NAM region. And based on what you select from the options, you will be getting the bill of material added. And once you click on update, it will also be updated to your total bill of material, right? So far in this design, you can see that it has been a pretty good design. That is the reason I don't have any errors here. But once I'm done with all my power and all the DCM also, right? Just imagine that I uh, delete one rack. So you can see that as soon as I delete one rack from the configuration, it generates two errors. And what are these two errors? First of all, it is saying that uh, since one of the rack has been deleted, you need to reconfigure the power zone. And also, since one of the rack has been deleted, we also need to reconfigure the DCM, because in the DCM we also taking into account the number of racks. And you can see that this particular power is saying this is being in red color border. That means this is the power that needs to be reconfigured. So I'll directly click on edit, and without doing any changes to your configuration, you can just click on update. It will be taking care of it. So you can see now this particular power system has gone back to this, right? And also since this particular power distribution unit was powered by the Odin, now you will also have to edit the Odin. So, and also just click on update. It will take care of it. So whatever the needed validation that needs to happen, we are making sure that we are giving all this option. And we will not also allow the users to go back to the design portal if you have any kind of error. So you can see that if I click on total price, the go to portal is being grayed out because the solution contains error, right? Now the next error is the DCM, because we have added some of the products we have reconfigured. So again, just similar to go to the DCM, go to click on configure and just click on save. It will take care of all the configuration again. So you can see now the errors are also gone now, right? So all these things, that is something possible now. I can also download the CFD project and also download the VGO file. So you can see that the tips that we are providing here, that once you have downloaded the VGO file, you can double click on the downloaded file to view the VGO drawing on the web, right? But if you have the Microsoft Visio software installed in your computer, in your local computer, you can right click on the downloaded file, select open with, and choose Visio from the list of apps. So what will happen, the file that has just downloaded as .svg will open in your Visio software as a Visio format, in the Visio format. And of course, there are many open source software in the web. You can upload the Visio file that we have just downloaded, and you can view the different visualizations of the diagram of the design from that. So this is what we have on the Visio. On the download CFD projects, I will download the CFD project now, and I'll try to go to the ITS CFD software. I can go to the file and open. So I just downloaded the file. So this is the file I've just downloaded. I can upload my design. You can see my row data center designer is now in the CFD software. So you can analyze here. Okay, there is some thing that is there. Probably some batteries are outside of the room. So we need to fix the position of those items. So that is the reason you are getting the error, but you can also do the cooling check over here. So that is all that we have developed so far in the row data center designer. So once you are done with the solution, you can go to the total price, go to design portal. You can click on save. It will take some time because it's a pretty big solution that I've created. And once you are in the design portal ecosystem, you will be able to submit the solution for approval. Because right now at this stage, we are not auto approving any of the row data center designer solution. All the solutions that is getting created in row designer will have to be manually approved. So that is what we have it currently. But definitely as we proceed more into the future, when we will stabilize our application and also our application will be becoming more robust, we will also make sure that some of the design constraints that we have in place right now, which is stopping from auto approval, are also removed. So you can see now it is saving the solution and it's going to the design portal. And once you go to the design portal, so throughout my design, you might have seen that the total price was always NA in row designer because some of the SKUs were not having the price at that instant of time. But now we are doing a very fresh call to the pricing server. So in the design portal, when we will go, we will be seeing the total price of the solution. So pricing is very slow. So you can see that probably some of the SKUs are missing the pricing. So you can also see, okay, this is the switch appliance that we have in the design configuration, which is not having the pricing available. That is the reason the total price is unavailable. And of course, after you come to the design portal, you can submit the solution for approval. You can see what are the different design nodes that we have for the application. In the reports right now, we have the CTO report and the detail code report, but proposal report and the drawing is something that we are currently working on. So that is not available yet. But what we have noticed and what we have understand so far from the line of business and also from our customers is the proposal documents, what we used to provide from the ISIC designer, that is something that not being used predominantly because people used to have their own version of the proposal document. So they'll be taking out the report from the Excel and they'll be creating the different proposal document. So currently we are working with different regions, different business developers to understand what is the best master document that we can create for their respective regions so that based on the requirement, customer themselves can edit the things in the report. So it's taking some time in this DP. So you can see these are the different reports that we have currently. We have the part number warranty report, we have the stock availability report, the sustainability report based on the data that we will have for the data for the products that is there in the design. And of course, the CTO report that we have is very helpful to our customers who will be, or the FSS who will be installing the design at the customer side, because we will be having the system specific details of the configuration, like each CTO, in which row, what are the products, what are the cable connections that will be going from, say, from point A to point B. So all those details are being provided in the CTO report. So with that, I will quickly jump back to my slides again. So what are the best practices that we have that we can adopt in this initial stage of the row data center designer? We would suggest that build your solution in a scalable manner. So yes, we have a threshold of 500 racks, but we would suggest that don't go for the 500 racks at one single go. maybe you can add the racks in a scalable manner of 10 to 20 at a time, right? Try to avoid copy of heavy designs for time being. So we have enabled the copy features, but try to avoid it like copy of a complete containment with the cables and all those stuff, because it can definitely have some impact in the robustness of that particular design. So that is something that we would request at this initial time. And also we suggest you to configure the DCM at the end of your configuration, because as if you do the DCM at the very beginning or at the middle, what would happen if you keep on changing your design, you will be keep on getting the errors, right? And it can be very irritating at this moment to keep on reconfiguring the DCM every time. So we suggest that to configure the DCM at the end of your configuration to avoid repetitive errors because of change in design. But again, this is something that's a workaround that we are seeing right now, because we are working on the API which will automatically update the DCM's bill of material based on any changes that you will do. So that is something that we are currently working. The upcoming releases that we have this year in the next 2 months is that you can see there's 2 releases coming up in September 6th and September 30th. Since we have released this next gen containment in the first quarter of this year, we are getting good traction of it. People are creating solutions, and also there has been multiple requests to continuously improving the experience both on the visualization and also on the configuration side. So we are planning also to bring in some more option into the configuration on 6th of September. Then we have this room shape cutout. So basically this is a feature that we have inspired from ITSFD software, where it will help you to create these different shapes of room, like the T shape or the L shape for now. Then we will also provide the ceiling type equal 3D. So right now the NGC 3D is available for all kind of configuration. But for the old equal, we are planning to do only the ceiling type for now, because that's what we understand that the most often used type, equal type. Perforated tiles, just like similar to what we have for the doors, windows, the crack unit, we are also introducing the perforated tiles so that this simulation is becomes more realistic, because right now we don't have the in-room cooling unit. So the objective of getting the perforated tiles along with the crack unit is that it will help you to stimulate without the in-room cooling units. And what we are seeing in the trend with the higher rack density, where the room cooling is being more preferred, so that simulation part can be definitely achieved in the Row Data Center Designer with the IIT racks configuration. And you can also upload the design in the CFD software in order to see whether the airflows and all those things are optimized or not. And of course, once you are done with your stimulation or with the crack unit or generic object, you can add through the custom parts the different in-room cooling that is available for your region. Also, we are bringing the auto-save feature, because this is something that we have understood. This was there, but we have taken it out because it was contradicting with the approvers approach. But we are reintroducing this feature. What it will help is that if in case your application is breaking down, since it's a web-based application, it can happen that if you're having a very complex solution, bigger solution, your browser can sometimes get closed, right? So in order to save the work and not completely disrupt or make the time that you might have spent in the application go waste, we are bringing this autosave feature which will help you to start from where you left, right? So that is something that we are currently working on. Then in the next release, we are also working on to bring in more optimization in the cooling analysis. So we are planning to get the just similar to what we have done today for the Inro DX air cooled product, we are also planning to get the performance values for the chilled water products. Again, in the Visio, today you can download the Visio drawings only from the Row Data Center Designer, but also we are planning to make it available in the DP report, so that in any status of the solution, you can download this Visio drawings. And of course, the NetFilter Advanced Rack RPDU, there is something that another new offer that is coming from the rack systems line of business, the 11K series. So that is something that will be also available in the Row Data Center Designer. And of course, the ability to configure the NetBoard's rack monitor of your choice. So that is all that we have in the upcoming releases. So this is the next steps and the additional information for all of you. This is the link, the production link, where you will be able to go to Row Designer and create those solutions, small to medium scale data centers with all the racks, cooling, power, containment, DCM and services. If in case you have any queries, any feedback, any bugs that you notice in the application, you can report it direct to the feedback channel inside the application, or you can also send us directly to design tools support@sc.com. And also we have created all those help videos. You can also find them in the design portal help center, but you can also go to the MLL link to go through them to get some extra credits, right? So we have another poll for you right now, since I have demoed the application. So how satisfied are you with Row Data Center Designer at its current stage? Do give your feedback because this feedback will very much be we'll be interested to see whether we are able to cope up and fill up the big shoes of ISEC designer, right? So that is very important for us. So yes, this is the support slide. Charles, would you like to come in here?
All right, take a look.
Okay. Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Charles.
Okay. Yeah, the NAM config team consists today of the 3 people you see listed and their regions. We do have a new config person who joined August 1st, Daryl Household. And as soon as he's up to speed, we'll make sure that we list him with a region. So we'll have 4 people on the team.
Right.
I think.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's take the questions from the chat. And I think, Kelly, we can also unmute if people have any questions.
Yes, that's right. Looks like Marcus has a question, so I'll let him come off mute. 1 second. Okay, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Yes, I am. Can we look at the solution overview of the training document that you just did? So, can you go back to the design portal with the solution page?
Sure. Yes, Marcus.
If you notice right there, you have no pricing, list price. If we click on that price, see the pricing status report, can you please click on that?
Yes.
This was one of the questions I asked earlier. If you select a product in the Row Designer that does not have pricing, will it stop it? And I was told, or will we not get pricing? And I was told in the chat that once you come out, you'll have pricing. As you can see here, you don't have pricing. But this is going to prevent a solution, should prevent a solution from being submitted because you can't approve it without pricing.
You're right. You're right. So this is a real pricing issue. Okay. The what I've told you that inside the application, some of the SKUs might not be having the price at then instant. That is something then intermittent. It's something to do with the pricing call. But this is a real issue when you don't see the pricing of the SKU itself. So in this case, and this is something a known issue, what we have noticed that this particular SKU had got decommissioned before, then they have again make it a release SKU. So there is some ongoing issue with this particular SKU. But apart from that, I believe if I go to the detailed code report, let's go to the detailed code report, you will see that all the SKUs. And when I go to the Row Designer, you might see that many SKU might be showing us NA at that point of time. But if you go to detailed code report, you will see the pricing available for most of the SKUs.
You have it open in the other tab. You can open, yeah, the other tab. Yeah, I6 with I6 number. No, with I6 number.
The fourth one in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah, you can click here. Yeah.
But my concern is But my concern is with this,
Mhm.
when you selected it inside the designer, up in the blue right-hand corner in the pricing, it was not available. So at that moment there, if there's a pricing problem, and we have a pricing problem right there as we can see it, inside the designer should be telling the partners that there's an issue. There was no warning or anything on pricing problem at that point. And that's concerned because what will happen is a partner will still, just like you're doing right now, submit a solution. We can submit this
Mhm.
as is with this problem. It would come to the config team. We would
Yeah.
wonder why there's a pricing problem. We see that part. It shouldn't get to that point of letting a partner submit a solution because there is a problem. Okay? Regardless of if it's a pricing or an internal issue on the LOB side or us, the problem comes, a partner is looking to get a solution over and approved. If we're having issues with pricing or if a part's not coming up with available pricing, that should prevent it from being submitted.
Okay. Sure. Point noted, Marcus. But whenever I believe whenever any of you see any of the SKUs which is there in the report and it's not having pricing, do first of all reach out to us so that we can quickly work with the line of business or the product manager of that product to resolve the issue. And if in case the product manager says that the price the SKU will not have any price, then probably you can go ahead and remove it altogether from the line bill of material.
But how do you
But
know if the partner, what happens if the partner needs that part though?
yeah.
So if you say we can go ahead and delete because there's no pricing, you
Mhm.
need to make sure either A, if there's a replacement part for it, or B, if that part is really needed today. If it's been where they've done something else and we no longer need that part, like we need more explanation. We can't just tell a partner, all right, they don't have a price, we can take it out. Because if they're actually
No, no.
looking for that part,
Yeah. Definitely,
need a
first step would
replacement.
be to reach out to the product manager. Like once you reach out to us, we will try to take you or whoever report to us with this SKU which is not having price. We'll have our conversation in our email and we'll try to figure out a solution. What is the best way forward, right? And that's how we've been doing in design tools, I believe. It is not something that is new being added. It's like an existing issue with some of the SKUs that we always surround and have a problem. Okay. When designing the room, is there an option to add a support columns in the space? No, at this moment, we don't have any option to support columns, Ali. One of the solutions that I had did, the pricing shown on the solution was roughly a 3x the solution or the pricing when the solution was open. Is this part of the, I would say yes, Don, if this is something that you might have experienced last week, yes, that's the issue, right, Chandan? That we are seeing some multiple of the price. But I believe that issue has been fixed now, Don. You can probably confirm it by going back to the solution production after the call, maybe. But the issue is fixed. Any config force for Mexico, Latin America? Charles, would you like to help Khaled with his question?
Which one?
Any config folks for Mexico, Latin America?
No. They have their own people. There is a listing. I don't have it personally right now to pull up and put on the screen, but they have their own people. The NAM config team doesn't support Latin America or Mexico, only for a certain VIP customers that are overall NAM projects.
All right. Okay. Kenneth, can you tell us when it is available? So let me quickly go to the application.
Go ahead.
So we go to the power. And since Kenneth, you have asked the maintenance bypass, right? So we will directly go for PX100. I'll click on configure. If you see that if you are not powering any equipment, right? In that case, you can switch it off. This include power distribution and go for the external bypass. So and then you will get this 300mm lineup, right? And you can click on add on placed and go to designer. So this is what you have. So now, of course, since you have added, now you'll get the errors for DCM. So you just have to reconfigure because for the ladders. So I hope that answers your question, Kenneth. So next one.
Piccolo, just
Yep.
a comment. Lee expressed the question in regards to a column. Can you show,
Right.
you could actually do a generic and put a block in there. Correct?
Yes, I can add a block.
Which could act
But
as a column.
maybe I here I was
We
got
could-
confused. Like to add a support column in this space, if there is so many parts I will do. So we do have a block, so you can
Mhm.
change the dimensions of the block.
Correct. It defaults to the 600 wide, correct? Millimeter wide, but you can change the dimensions as you're doing right now. And it
Yes.
can represent a column that may fall within the row that you're setting up with racks or a UPS or other equipment.
And just
Maybe
as a
in the
time
3D
check,
view.
we are
Yeah.
at time, so I just want to be respectful of everyone's time. If
Mhm.
this comes up quickly, we can share that and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, maybe Kelly, what I will try to do, I'll try to go through the questions and maybe I'll try to respond to each of them in the chat itself. And maybe you can take it from here. Definitely.
Yes. Okay, yeah, that
We are
would
on
be
the top
great.
there. Yeah.
That would be perfect. We'll go ahead and launch our final poll because I do want to get everyone's
Mhm.
feedback on the session. And if you had anything specific that where you feel like you need more information, and we can provide that back to Piccolo and Charles as well. And then just for some additional resources, we wanted to remind you all about SkillUp. If you've been on the last couple of impact sessions, you've heard this already, but this is a learning platform that's available for all S job codes. So there's a lot of great content here. Consultative selling is a great module to start with if you're just looking for a place to start. And then we highly encourage you to also speak with your manager if there are other skills to focus on for your particular learning path. So you can access that in BFO or directly with the link that we provided there. And then, as always, you can find follow-up from today's session on our sales homepage. And as Piccolo said, he'll go through and answer remaining questions. But thank you, everyone, for your time and all of the great questions today. With that, we'll close it out. Thanks for staying on just a little bit longer, and we will see you next time. Appreciate your time. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Look forward to your corporation usage of the Road Data Center Designer. Thank you. Bye-bye.